Oh God, I'm leaving the gym. Okay, I'm leaving the gym. Um, I did 5 miles, 6.25 miles as a matter of fact. Interval running and hill climbing like normal. Because I had to get out of my house. This weather is really seriously. Which is why. Okay, so here's an example. Before we moved into our house, there was a time when a car bomb, and I am not being hyperbolic, a person literally used cleaning chemicals to blow up their vehicle. Like if this was the corner, our apartment was here and their car was there. So like when they blew it up, it was like body parts landed on my car, which is parked out back of my apartment. Because like I said, we used the fire escape. So car bomb here. We had literally driven past it. It was a one-way street. Come this way, gone in the back, parked in there. So like we literally went past his car twice within 10 minutes of prior to him blowing this up. Apparently he was a very unhealthy man who had his very, very young, I believe it was 2-year-old child in the backseat of his car, and someone that I guess he thought was like selling his wife drugs or something. He was not well. His whole reason for taking his son was that he thought this world would be mean to his child, so it was better if he just took them all out. Anyway, that car bomb went off when me, the man who became my husband, who will soon be my ex, and my now 16 at the time, I think he was like 7 or 8-year-old autistic, mildly autistic. I don't know, my son is on the spectrum, but like my whole family's on the spectrum, let's be fair. Some were living in this shoebox, got shot occasionally, falling apart, crappy, but thank God we had it. And our landlord was a hero for letting me have that apartment when he did. And he picked a fight and he took off because he wanted to go get high and be somewhere else that night. He didn't want to be there with us. And the FBI literally kept us in our building for 3 days. At one point, finally, they let me take my car out. They had to write a note because I worked for the state civil service, but I wasn't allowed to go to work and I did not have the time. So I ended up getting administrative pay, which was nice because I could have lost my job. And he was gone. He didn't care. He wasn't there. That's one time that I needed him that he wasn't there. Of hundreds of times that I need him that he wasn't there. When he came back was the Mother's Day. Shortly later, Mother's Day, he spent the day with his children because they were with their moms, his other children, sorry, the one that he got. We were together, we had a child. He left me for someone else, had children with her, got back together with me. Anyway, over 25 years. There's a lot. Like, I don't blame him for the leaving. I don't blame me for the leaving. It just happened. But whatever. Those children were with their mom's mother. He spent the day with them. They split up. He got so high that he overdosed. He called me at 11:30 at night on a Mother's Day, said he desperately needed help, showed up at my apartment before we even got off the phone call, and I spent the whole night finding him a place to go and getting him into treatment and taking care of him. After he left me to deal with the car bombing by myself. Now here's why I bring this all up. The last time I heard from him, he was cursing me out about how I create this good, safe parent, dangerous parent dynamic by telling my 5-year-old what he does. That was after he, in front of my 5-year-old, broke our glass stove with his bare hands, screaming and spitting and cursing in my face, and then pounded on my 5-year-old's bedroom door about how he was going to take him away from me someday, and someday they'd be on their own. Obviously, like, there are reasons we're not together. And this is what unchecked mental health issues do, by the way. He didn't start out this way. I didn't marry this guy. He had a couple bad moments over the years, but like majority, he was a good guy. When I first met him, he was a great guy. Anyway, my whole point is that I haven't heard from him pretty much except for like the one time he wanted to talk to my son, and I was like, well, he doesn't want to talk to you, but I'll have him call you when he does, and he threw a fit. We had this cold, like, pile of wet, white stuff on the ground, and I got a text Not while it was going on, mind you, but now, afterwards. Are you guys okay? It's Pennsylvania. I grew up on a farm in Pennsylvania in the 80s. We know how to deal with this. Now, we're cold. We don't have any firewood this year because one of the things he did was break our chainsaw when we first moved in and lose our axe and a bunch of other... He's really hard on things. Can't tell you how many leaf blowers and lawnmowers and other weed whackers. He's really bad on weed whackers. So we're cold. We're cold because he doesn't pay us any money, so I can't pay the bills. So when we run out of heating subsidy, I'm screwed, and that's going to happen regardless, because we have 8 months and like $700 left. It's probably going to happen at the end of this month. He was making $300 a day all summer. He sent me less than one paycheck over the whole time. But he wants to know if we're okay. And part of me desperately wants to believe he actually cares at all. But do you know how many times I fell for that? You go, are you okay? What's wrong? You don't want to know what was wrong. What he wanted was for what was wrong to not be his fault. When he would go, what's wrong? Things like, I'd walk in, ask him to come spend time with me when the children went to bed. Make it clear that, like, we hadn't seen each other in days, even though we lived together. Nicely, and he'd be like, oh yeah, I'll definitely be there. And then he'd go to the garage and he'd start chain smoking and staring at his phone. Or he'd go into the bathroom with his Suboxone and not come back out. And I'd finally fall asleep, and then he'd wake me up and scream at me for not still being awake. And then I'd get sad and he'd go, what's wrong? And if I said nothing, then he screamed at me for saying nothing. And if I told him what was wrong, then he screamed at me for it being his fault. Well, what he genuinely meant when he said what's wrong was, tell me something that doesn't hurt me. So, see, here's the deal. I wasn't allowed to have boundaries because if I felt anything, it was me using my feelings against him. Even if he initiated it. At the same time, if I would say something like, you just really hurt me, so I don't want to talk about the fact that you're hurt by me being hurt, then I didn't care about him. He will tell you, the only thing I ever did that hurt him, ever, in the whole time we were together, was get hurt by him. That is what I did wrong. That when he acted horribly, I would be hurt. I can't think of a reply for this man. I love this man for 25 years. He was my best friend even when we weren't together, and I can't think of a reply right now, because what do I say? We're fine, thank you. I'm not sure why you're asking. Go F yourself. We could use some money and some firewood. You didn't care if we're okay. He's never cared if we were okay. It's not important to him if we're okay. If he's asking, it's because somebody told him, hey, she's on Facebook talking about how they don't have any firewood left. And he wants to feel important. He wants to think that I'm not better without him, but I am. My house is cleaner most of the time. Right now it's not great because, winter break and snow and school and stuff. It's usually actually pretty good right now. Despite the fact that he doesn't pay any money. We don't go hungry. We don't have clothes. We had Christmas. Somehow, miracle. We saw karate by a miracle. I make my school checks stretch really far. I don't want to fight with him. I don't have any interest in fighting with him. At all. Ever. I never did. Not once, ever. He would say, I don't want to fight, which was code word for fuck her and her feelings. But I genuinely don't want to fight. I wanted to fix us. I wanted to fight for us. Not fight with him. But that was never allowed, and now I don't want to fight at all. Now I just have no answer. I wear this because I paid for it. But I won't wear it here because it's not true. Yesterday was the 1 year anniversary of him getting a wedding ring tattooed. That tattoo's gonna last a lot longer, I guess. He was never a husband, and I was a really good wife. But he's gotta fuck with me. He can't just let it be. And it sucks.